They laughed at her shoes. They mocked her faded uniform. To them, she was invisible, a shadow sweeping floors no one cared about. But what they didn't know was this: the very woman they dismissed as just the janitor had once held dreams bigger than the arrogant champion who ruled the ring. And when fate placed them in each other's path, the world would see that humility, discipline, and resilience could break even the strongest pride. This isn't just a story about winning a fight. It's a story about redemption, dignity, and how one forgotten woman reminded a champion, and all of us, what true strength really means. Every evening, after the stadium lights dimmed and the roaring crowds faded away, Maya would quietly begin her shift. She pushed her worn-out mop across sweat-stained floors, picking up empty water bottles, wiping down benches where athletes bragged about their victories, and scrubbing away the scuff marks left behind by 100 restless shoes. To the young fighters training there, Maya was invisible. At best, she was a background figure, a pair of tired eyes behind a wrinkled face, hands calloused from decades of work. At worst, she was the target of their jokes. "Careful, don't trip over Grandma's mop," one would sneer. Another would add, "If I lose today, I'll let the janitor replace me." The laughter echoed, but Maya kept her head down. She had learned long ago that words cut only as deep as you let them. But inside, she carried a silence heavy with memories. Few knew that Maya had once been a fighter herself. Years ago, she had dreamed of becoming a champion, training with a fire that matched any of the young athletes who now mocked her. She had hands fast as lightning, a heart that never quit, and the respect of her coach. But life had its own plans. A sudden accident outside the ring left her unable to pursue the career she had poured her soul into. While others rose to glory, Maya disappeared into obscurity. With bills piling up and no family to lean on, she took the only job the gym offered, cleaning up after others. And so, the dreamer became the janitor. It was on one of those quiet nights that she first noticed Adrian Cole, the reigning champion. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a smirk that never seemed to leave his lips. Adrian was good. Too good. He knew it, and he made sure everyone else knew it too. "Stay out of my way," he barked at trainers, assistants, even fellow fighters. He demanded special treatment, dismissed advice, and laughed at anyone who dared question him. To him, the ring was his kingdom. And everyone else? Servants. When Maya accidentally rolled her mop bucket too close to his training space, he sneered, "Watch it, old lady. This floor is for champions, not cleaners." The gym fell silent, then erupted in laughter. Maya bowed her head, biting back the sting of humiliation. But in her chest, something long dormant stirred. The chance came sooner than she expected. One late evening, Adrian was boasting after a training session, bragging about how no one in the city, or the country, could last a single round against him. He ridiculed his sparring partners, mocking their weaknesses. And then, in front of the whole gym, he glanced at Maya sweeping in the corner. "Hey," he called out with a cruel grin. "Maybe we should let the janitor spar with me. At least then I'd have a real challenge." The gym roared with laughter. But Maya didn't lower her head this time. She placed her mop gently against the wall, looked him straight in the eye, and said, "Careful what you wish for." The room fell silent. At first, they thought she was joking. But when Maya stepped into the ring, her back straight, her eyes calm, her movement steady, even Adrian was caught off guard. "You can't be serious," he chuckled, strapping on his gloves. "I'm serious enough," Maya replied. The bell rang. Adrian lunged forward, confident he would end it in seconds. But Maya moved with a grace that stunned the crowd. She slipped past his punch with a subtle sidestep, her eyes reading his body like a book. Every move he made, she countered not with power, but with precision. When he threw a heavy hook, she ducked and tapped his ribs, not hard, just enough to sting. When he charged in, she pivoted, letting him stumble past. The gym erupted in gasps. Adrian grew frustrated. His pride couldn't handle being toyed with. He swung harder, faster, but his punches met only air. Sweat poured down his face, his arrogance slipping with every missed strike. And then, in a moment that froze the room, Maya landed a clean jab right on his nose. She didn't follow up, didn't humiliate him further. She simply stepped back and let him feel the weight of silence pressing down on him. The bell rang again. The round was over. Adrian, gasping for breath, stared at her with disbelief. Maya pulled off her gloves, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Strength is not in your fists, Adrian. It's in your discipline. It's in respect, for your craft, for your opponents, for yourself. You are a champion, yes. But right now, you're not worthy of that title. The words cut deeper than any punch. For the first time in years, Adrian lowered his head. The arrogant grin was gone. What remained was a young man confronted with truth. The gym erupted, not with laughter, but with applause, for Maya. From that night on, Adrian changed. Slowly, but surely. He began listening more, respecting others, training harder without boasting. And whenever someone asked him what turned him around, he would smile faintly and say, "The janitor taught me." And so, Maya's story reminds us. Titles fade. Crowds forget. But humility, respect, and resilience outlast them all. She was just the janitor in their eyes, until she showed them what real champions are made of.